Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Joe Emilio Show. As you see, I have two guests once again, not one, but two guests. On my right is Ruan, and on my left is Dean. They are part of the DMR race team, Dead Men Racing. It's a simulation racing thing. I'm new to this industry. So I don't know a lot about it. But we will show some footage later of me actually in a rig. It was actually Ruan's old rig. Went to visit him in Joburg and got a chance to actually race. And I'll give my thoughts when we're watching the video. And I will say this right off the bat: I beat Ruan fair and square in a time limit race. I annihilated him. I gave him such a bad beating that he can't even remember anymore. His mind has blocked it out. That's how devastating.
Yeah, I definitely don't remember that.
Ruan, Dean, how are you guys?
Good on you, brother. Haven't been on your show in a while.
Absolutely wonderful, brother.
All good, all good. Yeah, it's been a while, Ruan and Dean. This is your first time on the show, so thank you so much for coming on to the show. Dean, I understand that you cannot stay the full hour, which is fine. So let's get right into getting to know you, Dean. Tell us a bit about yourself.
That might be a problem, though, for most people, getting to know me.
Tell us about who you are. Tell us what DMR, what is it? Yeah, you will be able to explain it better than I would.
But to be honest, DMR actually started off just as a little friendship group between myself and Ruan when I started playing Gran Turismo Sport last year for about January, I think I started. And he was already quite into it for about a year as well, quite sufficient and proficient at the racing. Just bloody hell, mind my shoes at the back there, apologies. And we started a little friends group where we chose a car together and started driving, became mates. And then eventually we just decided, or he just popped a message to me one day, listen here, these are 3-4 logos. I was like, okay, what logos? He's like, I don't know. It's going to be cool to get a little group name for our 10 races or friends that we have. And I said we chose the name DMR, Dead Men Racing, which was pretty intriguing at the time. And it all kicked off from then. So I'm one of those people, if I commit to something like this racing, the bug bit me. And I spent, I can only imagine, 3 times more than anybody else on that because I was so far behind. I hated losing. In fact, the very first race that I did with Ruan, how we met, was in a race against him. And funny enough, he actually almost lapped me on a small 20-minute race. And that's how I knew him. So I idolized him for a short term. And then myself and one of the other GDSSA champions, which is GDSSA's Gran Turismo Sport South Africa, it's got the biggest amount of people racing in it. It's basically the foundation of GD Sport in South Africa. There was a guy, it's Kalen Mawa. Basically, him and I started 1 or 2, it's called the Chatbox Show. Very rookie. I saw him streamed it off my PlayStation. And that absolutely irritated Ruan. So him already knowing me, asking for tips and advice on racing, he just phoned me up the one day, said, listen, yeah, you guys are amateurs and rookies. I cannot stand to watch this anymore. Great idea, but please let me just take over on the back end and do it professionally. And since then we've been, I could say, probably best mates on this platform, and it's only grown ever since. We've attracted so many drivers, created haters along the way. To be honest, it's part of it, unfortunately. And yeah, we've grown 32 men strong now. And our top 5, top 6 races, I would say probably all of them are in the top 15 in South Africa. So it really, really, really is quite cool.
Yeah, I gotta admit, Ruan first introduced me to this whole, I didn't even know this industry even existed in South Africa. And we had a big conversation when I visited. about the industry and all that. So Ruan, let me go to you for this and tell our viewers and the people watching, how big is sim racing and has it grown a lot during the lockdown?
Yeah, it's very big and it grew extremely big during lockdown. I think that was the biggest growth spurt in sim racing was when the lockdown started. Especially when well-known drivers, real racing drivers, started competing in sim racing because they couldn't do anything in real life. So a lot of the Formula One drivers, Dino and myself, have actually driven against Formula One drivers in sim, and yeah, they just started sim racing and it became a really big thing. But yeah, I started it almost 3 years ago, and I joined. Uh, I mean, I didn't even really know sim racing was a thing. I just did it for fun. I never really used to drive on mine. And one day I came across GD Sports South Africa and saw they were doing online races with South Africans. And at that time, there were about 200 drivers competing in GDSSA. So I spoke to one of the admins and they said, yeah, if you want to join, just join and come race. And then it turned out I was actually pretty good at it. Not the best, but I was pretty good at it. And just started doing that pretty much every night. Well, every Thursday night was all day races on a Thursday. Uh, and yeah, once lockdown hit, suddenly the numbers just dramatically increased. And even on YouTube, you can see a lot of the YouTube channels that do sim racing. Uh, all their numbers also just climbed with subscribers and viewers at that point because people were looking for a way to watch racing, and there's no racing happening around the globe. So it was just this weird spurt, but it's been around for a very long time. And if you look at the main players around the globe, they've been doing it 6, 7, 8 years. And the equipment is unbelievable. I mean, you get things that I've seen a guy that has a $600,000 rig.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a room for a racing rig and he does professional sim racing. It's just crazy the amount of money that some guys spend on it. It's a little bit expensive to get started at. If you want to do the wheel and you want to really get into it. I mean, let's call it 15 grand as an entry point, but you still need a console or you still need a good PC or something like that. So that's a separate cost. But yeah, rigs and wheels just really get expensive, and if you want the good stuff, you're gonna you're gonna pay for it. But you can get away with not having the best stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
that's the nice thing about it. Of course, the guys that have the more expensive stuff maybe have a little bit more feel, or there's other technology that's better, but you can get into it pretty cheap actually.
Yeah, sim racing. I've seen some equipment that is very like realistic in terms of like because some guys have like I think Yanni showed me or I can't remember if it was you or Yanni that showed me this guy that has basically three big screens in front of him, and for a moment when I was watching it, I thought he was actually inside a car because of the way the rig was, and it was dark, and it was like these three big like literally just around him like this you could see the side of the like you were actually in a car, like you could see the side mirrors and side mirrors and the side doors and everything, and it was absolutely insane the realism that was in that rig. And I've seen rigs that are crazy expensive and they move and they like go with the gravity and momentum and all that stuff. It's absolutely insane and it looks fun. It is fun. I think why don't you guys tell us a bit about your setup? Dean, what kind of rig do you have?
Dina and I have exactly the same
Apologies, I
rig.
just
So
quickly had a laugh.
yeah, so Dina,
Exactly
you
the
can
same
tell
rig.
your rig. Yeah, we've got
Actually, the guy who just commented now, Kendall
Kendall.
Mawa, you just mentioned you guys look like you just got out of prison, just have our beards been growing and stuff. In fact, it is him that is the creator of our rigs that we firstly purchased and then won for the league. It's quite exciting. Maybe I should have actually taken a photo of you. But it's a nice adjustable. I'm actually sitting in it now. You can adjust your seat forwards, backwards. Where your wheel is situated, you can also just bring that forwards and backwards. Your TV is right at the back. In fact, maybe if I tilt my laptop around a bit, you'll be able to see
Yeah, we see a
how it
suitcase.
looks like. There we go.
Okay, cool.
So basically, this is where it is. I'm just putting this here so the laptop can be quite high. That's where the steering wheel is on the side here. And then the seats at the back. So we've got identical rigs, both myself and Ron, because we were teammates for the LNR season, which is the Sunday Night Racing League, and we both won it due to the sponsorship of Kendall Moore. Kendo, Kenny Riggs. So for everybody that wants to hit him up, just ask for it. He builds super sturdy, custom designed rigs for you guys. So yeah, there's a little bit of no paid sponsorship here, boys. It's just all love and games.
Yeah, and
it's
it's South African, so by South Africans.
Nice. Local.
Yes,
Nice.
man.
Awesome. And okay, so you both have the same rig. Dean, very quickly as well. So you've been in the sim racing for a little bit. Ruan speaks highly of you, and in terms of racing and stuff.
In public.
There's a big event coming up, and Kendall says, just very quickly, Kendall says, thanks, Diano?
Dino.
And Dino.
He had a few beers this evening, so it's okay. We got out of prison, he's having beers.
So apparently there's a big event coming up, which you guys are gunning for. DMR is gunning for. You're racing to make sure you get races in there. Tell us a bit about this event that's coming I believe at the end of July, and how many racers you've got involved in it, and yeah, how's that been?
Well, it's actually called the 80K Pro Series. The 80K Pro Series has been established for quite a while. They mostly did PC racing, which is PC ACC, which is a Assetto Corsa. That's a massive, massive league. Also a lot more intricate than Gran Turismo Sports. However, with Gran Turismo Sport being the only FIA, which is the international recognition of racing, recently made Gran Turismo Sport the only FIA sanctioned game, if I can so call that, for the Olympics and for international events. So 80K Pro Series then approached the Gran Turismo Sport South Africa squad, which is that massive league, and they included or interpreted to get GT Sport alongside as well. So now they've got the PCACC on the one side and Gran Turismo Sport on the console on the other side. That's where we are currently competing. There's 6 rounds whereby the top 24 will go through. Top 10 of the PC side, top 10 of the Gran Turismo side, and then 4 wild cards from various opportunities given to them. So that'll be down to top 10. We've got our next race actually on Monday, which is the last race. Then the top 24 will be decided from then. And at the 17th, I think it's the following weekend, there'll be top 10 from that 24, and that top 10 will then compete in the finals at the end of the month between multiple platforms, PC games, console games, and they'll get the best winner, which would also then, the winner would go to France, representing South Africa at the World Motorsport Games. So that is something that's very, very, very massive. Because that's obviously a huge opportunity for you to represent your country. And I've been fortunate enough to win 3 out of the current 5 races. I would have won a 5th, but my ego got a little bit ahead of me and I stepped out and spun out. But it's one of those things that's racing. It's unfortunate. But I'm not going to take anything away from the competition. We've got very stiff competition in another team called RTA. Their leader is Carl Westhuizen, also South African. They are a diversion or a diluted team from a previous internationally recognized team. They had some management disagreements and stuff, so they started their own team. So they still have a French leg, which is very big, and then a South African leg, which is also very big. So their 2 main races in the Gran Turismo aspect is phenomenally good. basically equal to the top in South Africa with Gran Turismo Sports. And then the other racer, which does or moved to computer now, used to be one of the fastest in South Africa for Gran Turismo Sport as well. So it's going to be very interesting about that event. Due to the finals being multiple platform, like it's going to be a combination on the day. You have to do PC games and Gran Turismo games. I think probably one of the guys who are hybrids who used to be very good in GD Sports and PC. I predict one of them will probably winning it and then go represent South Africa at the GT Sport games, which will be Gran Turismo Sport. So then they would have to do Gran Turismo Sport, the platform that I'm playing currently. So it's been awesome. My team has really significantly grown from the last year to now, from strength to strength. And we entered some of our best drivers into this. And I think we've got 5 in the top 10 currently. And
Cool.
the RTA's also got like 5 and probably 2 other individual races. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how the finals and everything's going to work. Myself and Ruan have spearheaded this alongside some of our admin team as well. Like I said, we've got about 30 people and about 6 of us are, it's called the DMR E. It's Deadman Racing Elite. It's the elite squad. We take it a little bit more serious and focus on the events and going it through. So it's quite massive, and I'm very happy and fortunate that our team can be here. Our goal is to make top 10. By some miracle, maybe one of us can win, but I really predict that a guy that's already playing PC and has console experience would be most likely to win the total thing. And then, yeah, I would do anything in my power to get that guy to do very well at the World Motorsport Games representing South Africa. So
only
it'll be good
one.
traction.
Let me get this straight. So only one racer is going to go over to France.
That's correct.
Oh,
Very
man.
month off. So it's like Highlander. There can only be one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was hoping a whole team would go.
Yeah, no, the last 8K race, which is on Monday, basically the top 10 in points over the last 6 races pretty much competes in these finals. And whoever wins the finals, outright winner, obviously, is going to get to go to France.
Awesome.
Correct.
And what do you guys? Okay, so the end of the month one. What's for the winners? What do you besides going to France and representing South Africa? That's awesome. It's like a big thing.
Well, we were all supposed to go to Cape Town, but the event
Top 24
organizers now,
finalists.
Yeah.
24 finalists we're supposed to go to Cape Town and compete at the 8K arena. But due to the COVID lockdown restrictions now, they've decided they're going to do it another way. So the finals won't be held there, but pretty much everyone will still compete how they've been competing.
Okay.
So I don't know. It doesn't look like I'm making it because I got taken out in the last race. So I came last.
Accidentally, yeah.
Yeah, well, I couldn't recover after that. And the very first race as well, I got disconnected, so I got last place. So I didn't make any good points. But yeah, Dino's first on the points right now, and then we've got TSM JDJ, who's 16 years old, who is, I think, second in the DMR squad in the top 10. Then we've got DMRE Taylor Yui, who is Ewan Taylor. He's a real racing driver in real life. He races in Europe in the Porsche Super Cup cars, GT3 cars. And then we have SMP3 Pro, who is Stefan. He old is Stefan now, in his 50s. So he's one of our squad that's in his 50s. Yeah. Who am I missing, Dino? Snakey Michael. Michael Aru. He's actually I see he said hi in chat earlier. So those are basically the top 5 guys from DMR squad that are going to be in the finals essentially.
Nice. Okay, cool. Well, either way, having DMR, the team, in the finals is obviously a big honor and a big accomplishment. Kind of put you guys on the map as well. And I wish you guys the best of luck. I mean, Dino, last time we spoke about it, you seemed pretty confident that you were going to win. I've noticed a bit of a change in demeanor and how do I say, like you've just changed now. I think maybe, yeah, you, like you said, you made a few mistakes. Um, but yeah, I think, is there no chance for you to recover on and maybe take the
Apologies,
win?
I misheard what you said. You heard prior from me. I had a little bit of a glitch there.
Oh, sorry. So I said last time we spoke a few weeks ago, you had a different perspective. You were pretty confident about you winning. It seems like that has changed. Do you not think that you can recover?
I'm with you.
Yeah.
No. The discussion we had was regarding our section of things, the Gran Turismo sports side.
Oh, okay. All right.
I knew from the start, and it's as said as humbly as possible with lots of humility, is that I knew going in there, I was confident of having a good chance of winning the Gran Turismo sports side of it.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
And that was my goal, to do that. From the start, I knew there's going to be a PC racer that has been doing like phenomenally well. And there's now that it needs to be a hybrid type race because the winner needs to play Gran Turismo Sport. Actually, I believe one of the RTA guys is actually called Sunburn Donkey or RTA Donkey. He used to be very quick in Gran Turismo Sport. In my opinion, has a solid chance of winning and then being able to represent South Africa at the top stage as well, because he's now moved to PC, but only recently, so he still has the feel for the console racing. So yeah, I knew it's going to be tough from the start. It has been tough from the start. We've got the two top RTA guys at Gran Turismo Sports, Safa and Diki, being very quick, which Diki is now 18 years old as well. Together with, there's a new wildcard entrant, also DMR racer, Koketsu Polani. He's also an 18-year-old lighty from Gauteng, also incredibly fast. And those two, together with TSM JDJ, which is the DMR member, being 17 now, those three are the future of the sport. So the last little bit of, let's say, 5, 10, 15 years I might have left, they can go to the top of the world. So
Cool.
knowing this, you have to be on the top of your game. Guys
Yeah.
like Diki, Safa, they always press you. And if it wasn't for the competitiveness between teams, I don't think any of us would reach the top stage, to be very honest.
Very true. I want to show the guys. Well, first, before I show them, Christian Vanderfault saying, DMR for the win, gents. An absolute boss team. Thank you, Christian, for the awesome comment. And thank you guys so much for watching. For those of you just tuning in, I'm sitting with DMR team members Dino and Ruan. They're about to go into a race on Was it Sunday? You say you're about to do your next race? Monday.
For this Pro Series Monday, yes.
Monday, and hopefully they will hopefully be in the final rounds, the ATG big event that's happening at the end of July, and I still think you might be able to represent South Africa. I'm gonna root for that, even if it's impossible. I'm gonna root for it.
Well, we'll see. We'll find out shortly what they need to prepare for. So they'll have some time to prepare.
Awesome.
At least, yeah. So they'll send us computers. We are thinking they would, but it's we'll see what happens. They'll give us enough time to prep. It'll only make it fair, like Ruan says.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are interested in watching this for the first time, you don't know what is going on, please go check out DMR Dead Men Racing on YouTube. They've got some of their uploaded races. I'm gonna play just very quickly, just to like show people like how real this actually looks, which I've always been quite like, when I started watching this, it feels like I'm watching a real race. So for those of you who enjoy Formula One and watching, and look at that, I happen to just skip to that. Come on, where's the real race? There we go. So yeah, if for those of you who want to watch or miss watching racing, the graphics, even the commentating, which I've heard Ruan commentating a few times, and Dino, is great. And there you go. There's an example very quickly of, I mean, this looks super, super real. And it's enjoyable to watch as well. It feels like I'm watching a real race. And speaking of which, while I'm showing some of these graphics, Ruan, at your place you showed me how intense this actually gets, because there's things, even in this, there's things like tire pressure, weather, things you've got to account for, and that the weather can, if you choose like Kalani racetrack and it's raining on the day, like it's actually raining in real life, it will simulate that on the racetrack. I mean, can you tell us a little bit more about that stuff?
Yeah, it really depends on what you're playing. So when you were at my house, you were on ACC, which is something that I'm playing mostly now. And essentially, it's pretty much like real racing. You got to set up your car.
Mhm.
You got to account for the weather, ambient temperature, track temperature. You want to make sure your tires don't get too hot. You don't want your tires too cold. You need them the right pressures. Um, there's so much that it does. You don't want to over rev the engines and screw up the engines. So in ACC especially, I do a lot of endurance racing. So essentially, you're a couple of drivers, and when you pit, you can change drivers. But we've done 24-hour races, 12 hours, 10 hours, and the weather can be very unpredictable. So you can prepare for a race, and yeah, halfway through the race, it starts raining, and you just got to deal with it, which can get tricky because you set up a car according to conditions, and in 24-hour races, you don't know what the conditions are going to be. So it's you kind of set up your car as a hybrid, but essentially there's a lot that goes on track evolution. So if after it's rained, the track isn't rubbed in, so it takes a while before the track has enough grip for your car. And yeah, all these factors play in, especially in ACC. GD Sports is a little bit more straightforward. The weather is generally it doesn't change, so you set it up for the race. So whatever the weather is set up for the race, that's what you're going to race in. And although you have to worry about tire temperatures and tire wear and so on GD Sport, you don't necessarily have to worry about tire pressures and that kind of thing. So yeah, the ACC is definitely a massive game in the sim racing world, and it is the most popular right now for sim racing, as well as something called iRacing, which is also very similar to ACC.
Cool. No, it
That's proper
was,
simulator
yeah.
racing,
No,
yeah, 100%.
it was quite intense, seeing all the graphs and the this and the that, and like, oh, this is how, you got to look at this, you got to be mindful of that. And I'm like, jeez, okay. And just like in normal racing as well, there's a guy I believe there's a guy in your ear as well, telling you things upcoming left, or I don't know what and what.
Yeah,
Um,
in endurance racing, we always have a spotter, so
yes.
someone that's in your ear telling you what's happening ahead, uh, giving you guidance on what you should set up for your pit stop, all that kind of stuff. And then there's also some really good PC software where you can get a race controller in your ear as well, where you can ask it questions. So you can set up voice commands. So you can ask how far the guy is ahead of me, where is he beating me on track, so where is he gaining more time, um, how my tires, how my tire wear doing. That can give you really good advice while you're racing. So yeah, it's a weird thing because it's one of the things you can kind of simulate in a game. It's it's one of those sports you
I saw
cannot
that.
you cannot just you cannot simulate other sports necessarily, but racing is one of those things you can
Yeah.
simulate.
No,
And
absolutely.
yeah, it makes it incredibly fun, especially when you're competing against really quick people. It's just crazy. I mean, the one endurance race I did, the guy that won it or his team that won. He's the test driver for Mercedes-Benz Formula One team.
Wow.
So like it's just crazy the kind of competition you have in sim racing. And the nice thing about it is, yes, it can get expensive to get set up, but it's not too expensive to crash a car in the sim world.
Very true.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
All right, so very quickly before Dino has to go, I want to show, because he's also eager to see this. I don't think he's seen it yet. This
I want to
is...
see how you read Ruan. Please show us.
So this was Ruan's old setup. Apparently he's got a new setup now, and which is what Dino showed as well. So yeah, I got in. It was very, I gotta say this, it was unexpected. I didn't expect to experience what I experienced. So I'm gonna press play. It's a bit of a long video, so I'm gonna fast forward just a little bit. You won't hear any like crazy let me see, like look at see, I'm kicking butt here. This is where I overtake Ruan's time. He doesn't even know it. No, but you can see that. So let me explain to people who've never tried this before. That wheel shakes, and it like if you're going over grass, it will vibrate, and the vibration is so. I meant to do that.
You destroyed his lab. I can see that. You destroyed his lab.
I meant to do that. Yeah, now I was confused. I was like, what do I do? And then Ruan, I got like tech support.
Seriously? Okay.
Yeah, because you stole the car.
I didn't even know you could stall a car in a game.
Realistic for now.
It's not like GTA, dude.
Yeah, I'm used to GTA.
I'm getting. I'll have my next wheel in.
So basically,
the vibration on this controller.
yeah, you can hear him saying the vibration on this controller.
One hand. This guy.
Luckily, he was driving auto, so he didn't have to worry about gearing.
Hey, that wasn't. That was
Which
shush.
is why like, I feel like
Everyone can see you not changing any gears.
So the weirdest part for me was,
my brain.
and I'm saying it now. When you take a turn,
I feel like I'm in a car.
your mind
And I feel like
thinks that you're in a car, so you expect to feel the momentum.
Your
Right.
body, yeah.
Yeah, your mind thinks that it's gonna be momentum or like a kind of a sway or whatever, and there isn't, and it is the weirdest feeling.
it's gonna be weird.
Yeah, because you feel everything in the wheel.
Yes.
But your body doesn't move. So
Exactly.
you feel the curbs, you feel the bumps, you feel all that. But you don't feel the G-forces.
No, which is weird. I had it, and I lost it.
Is this one hand, you know? Throwing it out to you with one hand.
Is that what, Dino? Is that a rule that you're not supposed to
A
drive
little
with
of
one
wax
hand?
wax on, wax off. 100%.
Yeah, no.
100%.
You want both hands on the wheel.
Oh,
That's
thank you for telling me now, Ron.
For shifting mostly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Carl Army, we're not happy with you.
Yeah, take the one hand again.
Like you
Check it
were.
out.
No, it was very realistic, and it was a lot of fun actually. It definitely adds a whole new dynamic to it, having that wheel rather than a remote controller. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was absolutely a lot of fun. I didn't understand any of the, as some of you might be able to see on the screen, there's like a lot of weird buttons and stuff. I didn't understand any of it. I was just driving.
Oh, Christian.
You honestly didn't do too bad for your first time.
You didn't. You didn't.
I think you
Apparently.
did at least complete a full lap, if I remember. So.
Yes, I did. I think
Which is more than what I did the first time playing that game specifically that he put on for you.
I think if I fast forward to the end here, which is around about, yeah, let's see. You actually tell me I did well, I think. This
Yeah, I'll be able to know in the top.
Let's
left.
just get that on
Yeah.
there for the boost of confidence.
Yeah, they're the top left.
Good job.
Where it shows red, it means you're not doing well, but you didn't do bad. Like you completed a lap. I remember that.
Yeah, I completed the thing, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Let me just bring up this comment here. Christian saying it's not a taxi, it's a race car.
Yeah, and to
one,
be fair,
Gustav, good one.
I did put you in a tough car. I put you in the Ferrari GT3, so yeah, it's got a little bit of power. But when you race something, you want to race something that's got power, right? So
Yeah, no, but it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. Yanni also, Yanni who put up, who was commenting earlier, this guy, he also got into the thing, and he just sucked. He was terrible. He was bashing into the walls and the barricades all the time. He even drove in the opposite direction once for like a whole lap. He was just awful. He shouldn't be driving even in a simulated. He shouldn't be driving a real car, let alone a simulation. So yeah. I wonder if he's still watching.
maybe it was the whiskeys we had before.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah,
My
yeah.
comment will come shortly.
Because we did have plenty of whiskeys. I remember that.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. So, guys, once again, please go check out DMR. Subscribe to that channel. Keep an eye on their racing. Like I said, I've linked to their YouTube channel in the description below. And if you go to their YouTube channel, you'll be able to see their Facebook link and their Twitter link. You can give them a follow and a like on their social media. Guys, I think, Dino, you're going to need to bounce pretty soon. But before you go, one more question for you. Where do you see... I mean, because I know that you guys have day jobs. Like, this isn't all that you do is DMR, right?
Some would argue with you there, but yes,
Yeah, it's debatable. Yeah.
What I mean is your income doesn't solely come from DMR, and so you have to have your
nothing
day job.
comes from DMR.
Yeah.
Actually, the only money that comes from us is from you, mate. We still have to say thank you for sponsoring us.
Oh, you're welcome. No worries. I would like to say that, or I would like to ask rather, where do you see DMR going in the future? Do you see this becoming something that, not necessarily, I mean, obviously if you make money off of it, great, you know, everybody wants to make money off of something that they love, but honestly, where do you see this going? Where do you see DMR in, like, let's say 10 years?
Just to ask a visionary that question like myself, a lot of people will probably comment on that as well, saying that my mind just runs away with imaginary things, etc., etc. But it's been working. Not all my ideas come to things as well to fruition. Ruan is usually the voice of reasoning in my head, because otherwise it could quite just simply run away at times. But so where I'm envisioning it, it's already happening. It's on the way. The team is naturally growing to such an extent that we're already starting to get international exposure, even a little bit, but we don't have any European or international foothold yet, like one of our competitive teams, RTA. So that's what we'll be focusing on next for the next year. And yeah, the idea is not to commercialize it. To be honest, it's not there for the money. However, we have to be honest with ourselves, is that by the way that it's growing and the things that you start doing, a lot of people want to piggyback on that. Let's say sponsorships, like yourself now being the first one. Even doesn't matter how big or small, everything starts going up. And it's just a natural process for a team to grow, be recognized, and being the esports industry that is now over the last 18 months been the highest grossing or highest growing industry in the world, it's definitely the right time to jump on board. A lot of people are starting to wait to that. There's a lot of multi-million-dollar competitions that's running. So the type of return on investments a lot of sponsors and stuff can get is quite significant. So that's where I'm seeing this going. And myself and Ruan, we get together with the other admins of the team probably on a monthly basis. So yeah, I think to be one of the top recognized sim racing teams in the world. I think if you want to say 10 years, in the next year, or 24 months, I would say, be the number one recognized sim racing team or esports team in South Africa, to be very honest. I know it's setting the bars high, but I'd rather shoot high and have no ambition whatsoever. And it's a natural growth thing. A lot of people say, yeah, but we only do this for the fun. I mean, my response to that usually is like, so what the fuck? Am I getting into the rig just to have a bloody miserable time? Like, don't tell me you're just doing it for the fun.
Fine. But we
all do it for fun.
We're all competitive. We're all competitive.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't want to be competitive or only say that because let's say you mid-pack or something like that, you could play Mario Kart, man. Honestly speaking, I hate when people say, "Oh, but we do it for the fun." I was like, "Okay, yeah, I look so miserable in my rig at the moment. I absolutely hate being competitive." So yeah, probably if we have to get a time frame in the next year, having our first major 1 or 2 sponsors, and then being on the international level, 24 months being recognized in South Africa as a solid esports team competing with some of the best guys. Actually, ATK and Bravado, they've got their own gaming arena in Cape Town. That's where we're going to have our finals. That's things that one would like to strive to, and be partnered with someone like ATK will also be super, super awesome. The gents there just do a lovely job at running things. You can always learn from that and move on, etc. So that's the goal, to be very honest. And sometimes you lose sight of it when one wouldn't think there's politics involved in this, but unfortunately there is. And it's not always good for the momentum. Sometimes it's or the morale of the team. You just sit back and like, you know what? I don't have time for this and stuff. But then you just push on and realize, listen, yeah, you've got 30 gens behind you, all rooting for you, leading us. They committed to you as our cause as a team, and as long as you have that brotherhood and let's say number 17 pushing number 16, number 16 pushing number 15, it just all pushes the whole team forward, and it's natural. It's not like I'm saying, listen, yeah, by end of the month we need to have this done. It just happens, unfortunately. It's that nature of a game,
Yeah.
No, you always want to improve.
Yeah, absolutely, and I agree with what you say there about some people who say, "Oh, we just want to do this for fun." I think in every profession, if I could put it that way, or like for example, me being a comedian, I often
James, I don't want to be rude. Honestly, I don't want to be rude. My next very important race is beginning in 15 minutes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Run,
leave. Thank you, Dino, so much for being part of the show. It was great having you on. We'll have you back. We'll have you guys back again after the big finals, and we'll talk about what happened and all the excitement around that. So good luck in your race, Dino.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Great stuff. Have yourself a good one, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers, Rue. Thanks for running.
Cheers. Cool.
Alrighty. And Dino left the building. So as I was saying, like I do agree with Dino on that idea of the whole we do it for fun or whatever. I think in any profession or any hobby or whatever you want to call it, anything that you do really, if you're a hobbyist, then so be it. It will be just for fun, and some people will take whatever it is you're doing. Let's say it's fishing. Okay, Ruan, you and I go fishing. I do it for fun. You want to be a bit of a competitor in it, so you do all these other things in it, and you're trying to hey, let's be a team. Let's go do it together. And I'm like, yeah, just do it for fun. That happens.
And invest time and money.
That happens. There are people out there that will be like, you know what, I just do this for fun. I don't want to, it's not like. And I think those people that say that, whatever it is that they're doing, whether that hobby or that sport that they treat as a hobby, that's it. That's their relaxing time. They don't want to think about the admin behind it. They don't want to think about like the pressure behind it. They don't want to think about a competition, stuff like that. So I completely understand those that feel that way. But what also annoys me sometimes about what those people do is they make you feel bad because you want to pursue like a profession or you want to be professional with it. They make you feel bad about that. It's like, cool, dude, you want to have fun with it. You want to be having fun with it. Just, just doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But let me go and don't make me feel bad now because I want to go and make something out of this, and maybe be paid for it in the future, That's what annoys me about those people. But not all of them are like that. But yeah, I do get
Yeah,
that.
I think I think it annoys us because you get it from guys that are competing at the top that
Oh, really?
start saying stuff like that. So once they start getting beaten, or there's new people on the block that are faster than them, suddenly, oh no, you guys practice too much and we just do this for fun. No, you don't do it for fun. You didn't enter this competition to race for fun. You want to race for fun, you go into other leagues that are for fun. you know. And there's some serious leagues that people compete in, and then you'll get one or two people that'll say, "Oh no, we just want to do this for fun, and you guys take it too seriously." No, we don't. We entered this competition seriously, just like anyone who's entering it. No one's entering this 80K event, for instance, not to take it seriously. I don't know why anyone would.
Exactly.
You want to go to the finals in Cape Town. You want to eventually win the whole competition and go to France. You want to do that. So if you don't want to do that, why are you entering it? Because there are other leagues that aren't doing that. And for instance, GD Sport South Africa, I would consider is more of a fun league. And I don't drive in it anymore because I don't really do GD Sport. But when I started out, that was where I drove, because you can be the newest person to sim racing and be absolutely slow, like 5 seconds off the pace of the fastest people. And they've got a pool for you to drive in, where you're driving with people of similar pace.
Yeah.
And they usually have like 12 to, I think at one point they had like 16 or 17 pools of 16 drivers. So if you're really slow and you're in the last pool, it doesn't really matter. You're racing that pool and you're racing with people that are the same pace. Yeah. Of course, when you get to the top 3 pools, a lot of those guys are a lot more competitive. You want to be in the top pool, because if you're in the top pool, you're making the most points, and that's where you're winning your prizes.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about them is you can be a complete newbie to sim racing and still compete there. So that's the nice thing about the community. And then there are other leagues like LNR, which is, some aspects of it is just fun, but most people that are in LNR are very serious and competitive. And yeah, we just find it strange sometimes when you get guys entering these big leagues competitions that are in the top pool that say they just there for fun. Well, no one's here for fun. Because then I'm going to get really angry if you take me out, for instance, and I lose points in a race because of your stupidity, and you're just here for fun, and I'm here to be serious.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's a lot there's a lot of politics. I think it's just the name of the game. It's any sport where you have teams competing. There's some friction between the teams. I don't really get it. I see it a lot with us and other teams, and there are some teams that they're there, but they never really say anything. And then there are other teams that don't like us, or like some of us and don't like all of us. And I'm one of those people, like, if you have a problem with me, just tell me in private. Let's talk it out, and I'm good with that. So sometimes you get these things where people are putting things in public, and it's...
Oh, really?
Yeah, I sometimes just think it's very childish, and sometimes I also have to control Dean and be like, dude, you wrote this, like, don't do that. Like, that's not what we're about. Or, but sometimes I think it can get frustrating because I think sometimes people think that a team is one individual, for instance. So anyone that belongs to that team, there's already this preconceived thoughts about who this person is and how they drive or what they do, which makes no sense to me. whatsoever. But yeah, there's a lot of politics. Let's just put it that way. There's a lot of politics. But as Dino said earlier, we try and avoid it as much as we can, and we're there to race. We're not there to have problems with other teams. We respect all the teams. There are freaking fast drivers in other teams, and we are a relatively new team. Considering all the other teams, a lot of the other teams have been around for a lot longer than we have. So we are still finding our feet. We're only a year old now. But yeah, we luckily have a lot of drivers that drive with us and are quick. We have a lot of quick drivers and a lot of guys that have joined us who go through our academy. So we have this driving academy where Wolfman Willie, Wilfred, he heads up the academy. I see he's in the comments as well. He kind of trains guys in the academy to help them get faster. And if we start recognizing drivers from the academy, we bring them up into the main team.
Nice.
And yeah, everyone in our team can tell you, once they've joined us, they've just increased in pace dramatically because we invest a lot of time in helping everyone get faster. I mean, at a time I almost lapped Dino on a freaking race, and now he beats me all the time. I think I've beaten him once in the last 20 races, for instance. So, yeah, we have a lot of drivers like that have just increased in pace dramatically. But yeah, some teams see that as weird or don't like it, or I don't know. I just wish all that all that politics was like out the window. I'm not really there for the politics.
No.
You know my view on politics.
Yeah.
I'm tired of politics.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, like you said, like no matter where or what occupation you have, there's always going to be some kind of politics in the workspace and all that. I do want to address some of the comments that have come through very quickly. It's Christian saying DMR Academy for the win, and Makopa saying Jeremy, love the top. Thank you so much. RebelstoreZA.com, ladies and gentlemen. You can get your shirt as well. And then Michael Rue saying, yeah, like I learned what trail braking is on the scales fell from eyes.
Yeah, so trail braking is a thing that they do in racing. So Michael, did you start in the academy? I think you started in the academy, I believe. But anyway, trail braking makes you a little bit quicker on a track, and racers use it in real life. And it's a very difficult concept for people to understand when driving. And essentially what it is when you're braking, you're initially braking. Think of your tires having 100% grip, right?
Okay.
But when you turn your steering wheel 10%, your tires only have 90% grip. And if you turn it 80%, your tires only have 20% grip. And we teach trail braking kind of in a similar way. If you're turning 10%, you can only be braking 90%.
Yeah.
You can't be braking 100% and turning 10% because that's slow and you're scrubbing your tires. And once people learn that art of, if I'm turning 30%, I can only be braking 70%, you start getting a lot quicker because you can brake much later into corners and stop the car quicker. So yeah, Michael is very quick at the moment. I would say the last 2 months, he's just massively increased pace. And now he's in pool 1 I think he won or came second in the last 80K pool 1 event. And yeah, so he has a really good shot in getting the top 10 as well.
Well, it's Gene's Clips, or Eats. What?
It's John.
It's John Clips. Says, yeah, it's true. DMR Academy helps tons. So I'm assuming someone else who's also been in the DMR Academy. For those who might be interested, for anyone who's watching, who might be interested, how does one sign up to be in the academy?
So Academy is simple. You just contact me, Dino, or you can contact us on our Facebook page. We've had some guys contact us on the Facebook page and say, hey, can we join the academy? And yeah, we'll put you in the academy. There's a bunch of drivers in there right now, and the academy isn't just about learning to drive faster, but it's also for us to see how people gel together. Of course, we don't want to pull people into a team that's not going to fit in. We've had that before, and that that doesn't work. And yeah, it's also just see how serious people are about competing professionally in the sim racing. We, especially in our main team, we don't expect everyone to be competing in all these big events, but we want people to be competing. And then, of course, if you get pulled into the DMR elite, and we'll always speak to you about it before we pull you into the elite squad. Is this something you want to take seriously? And if that's the case, we want the elite guys to put in a lot of time and effort. And there is a lot of time and effort that goes into it. In an endurance race for me, my prepping work for an endurance race could be up to 100 hours of practice. And that's what it takes to be quick. It's not,
Yeah.
let me just hop on an hour before the race and put in some laps and just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, the academy is cool. If anyone wants to join it, from a GD Sports point of view, just contact us on our Facebook page. And yeah, we will help us. That's the job of Mr. Wolfman Willie in comments there. And yeah, Dino and I help out from time to time, but he's the main man helping the guys in the academy.
Cool. Well, there you guys go. If you're interested to know more about sim racing and DMR and joining and perhaps racing, hit them up. Once again, you can find their Facebook and all that on the YouTube channel. It's underneath the. Hold on, let me move to this side. There we go. You'll see it over there. Is Facebook
Yeah, it
and
should be
Twitter.
there.
So go check it out and yeah, subscribe and watch the race if you enjoy racing. Like I said, it is very realistic. It feels like you're watching a real race. Great commentary as well. So you're not. It's not just like dead air. It's there's Ruan or Dino or someone else commentating on the race and talking about the industry, and it's a whole lot of fun. It's again like you're watching a real thing. And there's crashes too, which. Yeah, like you guys said earlier, it's cheaper to crash those cars than it is the real car. But crashes do happen as well. So yeah, Ruan, it's coming up to the hour. So is there anything that we didn't talk about that you feel you want to mention?
Damn, I don't know. Just come support us. That'll be cool. Like, it's if anyone likes racing, I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy some racing. Not all the races are on our channel, of course. So if we're racing on ATK have professional commentators and guys streaming those races. We post everything that we're doing on Facebook. And yeah, it'll be cool to have some support. So if you like racing, come and support us.
Cool. Christian saying, oh, by the way, shout out to Ghana, to Ruan, my cousin.
From Ghana. Yeah, he's in Ghana. So
Okay.
how's it, Christian? Yeah, Siapia. We call him Siapia, but his name's Christian.
What do you call him?
Siapia. Yeah,
Sipian.
it's CP in Afrikaans because
Sipian.
his full name is Christian. Sorry, Siapia. His full name is Christian Petrus van der Walt. So for short, it's CP. So Siapia. We just call him Siapia.
Okay, Sepia. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sepia, for watching. Ruan, thank you so much for coming on to the show, and as well as Dino. Thank you guys, DMR, so much for coming on to the show. We've been meaning to do this for a while. I'm sorry that it took so long to get you guys on the show.
Yeah, no,
but we
anytime,
finally
man.
made it happen, and I'm very much looking forward to chatting to you guys after the big finals at the end of July. That's coming up.
Yeah.
it's coming up quick. It's coming up quick. So we'll chat again
Yeah.
after that and how you guys did. And maybe if you guys can, send some footage or something. I don't know. It would be great to see some footage from that event if that's possible.
Yeah, it's fully live streamed and commentated by professional commentators and so on. So
Fantastic.
yeah, we, like I say, on our Facebook page, we send out links for everything, on Twitter as well. So
All right. Awesome.
yeah, everything will always be there if you want to tune in, and you can always go watch it later as well. So it's pretty.
Fantastic. All right. Well, guys, as we sign off, I'm going to say I'll be back tomorrow evening with Comedians Roast the Headlines. So please tune in for that if you want a good laugh. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then I'll be back next week with Rob Hutchinson on the show from Dear SA. We're going to be talking about EWC and the amendment to the gun bill, the progress on that, as well as some other things that Dear SA is up to. We'll be chatting a bit about that. If I don't see you then, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, be kind to one another, and I'll see you at the next one. Cheers.